Good evening. We're in 6A. It's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. May 24th, 2025. Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. Jeckovich?
Good.
You're looking well.
Oh, yeah.
I like your new sweatshirt, your new pants. You're doing good. You're really doing good. I heard you had a special visitor for 3 or 4 hours today.
Yeah.
Did you and Amber have a nice time?
Oh, she's a mystery. She's all plugged up.
She'll be fine. She might have allergies. But what'd you guys do for all this time today?
That what?
What'd you guys do all this time today?
She was resting. She fell asleep a couple times.
Amber is a beautiful girl. She's in her 20s, and she's a great-granddaughter of Mr. John J. Jeckovich. She's a full-time missionary, an avid surfer. She travels the world with a Bible in her hand and a surfboard in the other. What's that Bible look like?
Oh, it's old, worn out.
Worn out, yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to get a new one. She's got everything underlined just right.
Yeah.
And she likes to read the Bible to you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful situation. Yeah, It's really nice. Well, this is about approximately the 600th podcast, and we've been at it a couple years, reading Mr. Jeckovich's book titled "Their Mother's Sons," and we're reading it the second time around now. We're at the second time around, and we're on chapter 6, Home on Furlough and Farewell to Anne. Anne is his girlfriend in Owensboro, Kentucky. So we're picking up here when he spent a week visiting his mother and his sister in Niagara Falls, New York, and now he's taking a long train ride.
Old girl.
Yeah. It doesn't seem that long after watching the icebreakers.
Oh, yeah. Those guys do that all the time.
They're turning around to get some more coal.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a 4-day pickup, and it turned into 2 weeks. They got jammed in by the ice. The Coast Guard luckily helped them, and then they put a hole in the ship, 4 feet by 56 foot damage area. Had to get that done, and then they picked up 56,000 tons of coal.
Yeah.
And they had to bring it back. And then they spun around.
Why do they carry transporting coal like that? That's the hard way to do it. They got trains running all over.
Well, they did mention in order to fill up that tanker, it took over 500 train cars. Maybe the trains don't go to the remote place they're bringing it.
Yeah.
It took 500 train cars to fill up that transporter in the water. That's a big job. Well, Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 295th Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, he's jogged for 80 years. This man's jogged for 80 years, but it blew out his knees. When you blow out your knees, then you're screwed. Now you're in a wheelchair, but if he didn't jog for 80 years, he'd be pushing up daisies now. So that jogging saved your life, right?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. What got you started jogging?
What?
What got you started?
Yeah, I read a book up Johnson. I wrote Johnson's book.
Boy, that must have been one hell of a book.
Yeah.
You jogged for 80 years. But back when Mr. Jeckovich started jogging many years ago, jogging was not acceptable or fashionable. You rarely seen a jogger. Mr. Jeckovich would be jogging down the streets of Niagara Falls, New York, winter, rain.
Alabama.
Yeah. And then people didn't recognize a jogger 80 years ago. And what did they say to you?
Get off the road, you bum.
Get off the road, you bum. That's what they say to him when he started jogging 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they were ignorant of the fact that he was jogging for health and he wasn't jogging for transportation. Didn't they throw things at you?
Yeah.
What'd they throw?
Stones, cans of beer.
Empty cans of beer. One time they popped them in the head with a full can of Campbell's soup. Ironically, all those sarcastic people that said derogatory things to Mr. Jeckovich 80 years ago, I'm sure they're long gone. I'm sure they missed the point on good health. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich never took a prescription or a vitamin in his life, and he never smoked or drank. Now, getting back to Mr. Jeckovich's motto, now you know that he's been a jogger for 80 years. Mr. Jeckovich lives by this motto. He's got two doctors, his left leg and his right leg. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
He's got two doctors, his left leg and his right leg. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. So we're going to start on chapter 6, talking about your second leg of your furlough, going to see Ann back in Owensboro, Kentucky. And yeah, I don't know the exact number. There's 500 or 600 podcasts. Every night for at least a half an hour. And we're in it till the wheels roll off. We're in it till the wheels fall off. We're not going nowhere. We're going to keep plugging away. We're in it to the end of the road, so we're going to keep on going, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, and now we're in 2025, and he's knocking on the door of 100. Hear it knocking?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it knocking, yeah.
So he's knocking on the door of 100, and he's great health, unbelievable. Reads 3 newspapers every morning with no glasses. Could still shake your hand, and the power would knock you to the ground. It's a good story. Not only that, during World War II, he wasn't rear echelon, were you?
No.
You were frontline infantry combat.
Right.
As a teenager, Mr. Jeckovich waited to be drafted so he could spend more time caring for his mother, because his father died at the age of 43, so it was Mr. Jeckovich's responsibility to care for his mother, and he did so, and to her demise when she was 89 years old. But during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper. He was bombed with a real nasty bomb the Nazis would put together. The Nazis would put what in these bombs?
Put screwdrivers, razor blades, anything to disrupt you.
The Nazis would pack these dirty bombs with anything that could spread and blow up at great distances and do the maximum amount of damage. They'd stick in silverware and razor blades and pieces of metal and tools, and anything that would blow. As you see Mr. Jeckovich today, he still has large chunks of shrapnel in his body. Most were removed, but others are in sensitive spots where they can't be removed. So he was bombed by dirty bombs, shrapnel still in his leg, shot in his shoulder by a sniper, beat up,
lost a hip,
stabbed, lost a hip, trench foot, and frostbite. And here he is, almost 100 years old and still looking pretty damn good. Wow. When Mr. Jeckovich entered the U.S. Army during World War II, they were all teenagers, right?
all 19 or 33s.
33 is a military code for teenagers.
Yeah.
And his division was affectionately called the diaper division. How come?
Yeah, all young kids.
Yeah. It wasn't a derogatory term, it was just what it was. The diaper divisions,
Yeah.
right out of high school. Right out of high school. However, during the war, Mr. Jeckovich got caught unexpectedly with many American soldiers in Bastogne. And this was Hitler's last-ditch effort with hundreds of thousands of military Nazi infantrymen surrounded Bastogne, and they had a total out in the Ardennes forest, about 6,000 tanks. This was, I say, Hitler's last-ditch effort to cause pain, destruction, and death to Americans and destroy the land. No one ever in a million years thought Hitler would go in through the Ardennes forest because, number one, it was the coldest winter of record, and number two, the trees are so close together and made it prohibitive of getting tanks and equipment through.
Yeah, I couldn't get it through.
Yeah, you couldn't get through, but they did, and in a very tough way. So, how it turned out, Mr. Jeckovich had orders from the top brass: do not give up Bastogne under any and all circumstances. You must keep Bastogne. If you don't keep Bastogne, it wouldn't be good for the American soldiers because that'd be a foothold for the Nazis to move down further south. So his division stayed in Bastogne, but they couldn't get air support and they couldn't get additional troops. They couldn't get paratroopers, they couldn't get supplies because for 3 days or 4 days, the weather was so bad, they were just stuck there. They were just stuck in Bastogne. As a result, there was 97% casualties. All the young boys were slaughtered. 97 approximately casualty, died or were wounded, but they held Bastogne, and now all the troops, support troops are coming in, the paratroopers are coming in, air support, supplies, everything you can imagine, and they ran the Germans out, back to Germany, and at that time, about a week or so later, Hitler knew the end was up, and he committed suicide.
Well, our Air Force was bombing Germany, jobbing their factories to get rid of their stuff.
Yeah.
They had nothing to fight with.
Everything was gone. And the Germans thought they were going to rob the fuel depots from the Americans, but that didn't turn out that way. The Americans held tight. So now, instead of his group, most of them dead, are no longer called the Diaper Division. They have a new nickname, and it's stuck quite well, appropriately so. Their new nickname was the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. The Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. And let me tell you, they all damaged him somewhat, and he's still suffering today, especially what you suffer last night, a frostbite.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when you try to go through an airport?
The what?
When you try to go through an airport with all this metal in your body.
I got a slip. I got a slip. I said I tell you why I get why the bell's going off.
You have did you have trouble with frostbite last night?
Yeah.
It never goes away. We learned a lot of things from World War II, and if the young listeners ever go skiing during the winter months.
16 minutes.
Huh?
16 minutes.
And if you think you might be getting a case of frostbite, don't run into the ski lodge and go in front of the fireplace. That's the worst thing you do. Make a little snowball and rub it on that frostbite area, and it'll get the blood circulating again. That's one of the little tricks that we learned from World War II, there was many. So during the World War II, right out of high school, Mr. Jeckovich received the Bronze Star Medal, the Purple Heart, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the American Campaign Medal, the European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Service Stars, the World War II Victory Medal, the Army of Occupational Medal with the Germany Clasp, Combat Infantry Badge, Sharpshooter Badge, and Carbine with pistol and machine gun bars, Marksman Badge with rifle bar, and Honorable Service lapel button from World War II. That's a lot of medals. That's a lot of decorations. Where are those things today?
Who knows?
You don't know?
No.
We're right around the corner. We're right around the corner from Memorial Day. And Memorial Day is a very unique holiday. Memorial Day is a federal holiday, and keep in mind it's always observed on the last Monday of May. It is a time to remember and honor American military personnel who have died in service for this country. World War II veterans like Mr. Jeckovich, it's a solemn occasion to remember those who have perished in combat and the sacrifices made to secure freedom. It's a day for reflection, visiting cemeteries and memorials, and remember the lives lost. Well, we're going to remember one life right here. Mr. Jeckovich, Army buddy during World War II. His name was Donald Lape. He's a young boy, 17 or 18. Mr. Jeckovich was street smart. He was street smart. Unfortunately, Donald Lape was not street smart.
No.
Mr. Jeckovich was always telling me, get down, lay low, watch yourself. But in one of these battles, one of those damn dirty bombs came, blew off Donald Lape's head, and the only thing left on Donald Lape's head was his glasses hanging from his ear. And that was it. So, and Mr. Jeckovich removed the glasses, and he removed one dog tag, left one dog tag on, and wrote a beautiful glowing letter of sympathy to his mother and father, explaining what happened. So these are the memorials, and these are who we're remembering today, many, many examples like Donald Lape. The story gets longer. Mr. Jeckovich has been retired in Florida for how many years?
Yeah,
How many years you been retired?
1980.
So you've been retired for 45 years or
Yeah.
so, right? 2 blocks down from Mr. Jeckovich's house, Donald Lape's younger brother retired and moved in. 2 blocks down, 2 blocks down. And we just recently found out that Donald Lape's brother passed away, and we didn't know, so Mr. Jeckovich never had an opportunity to meet his brother, but it would have been great conversations, and it would be a very sentimental conversations, but he just did not know until the obituaries came out, and he was still honoring his older brother, which was Donald Lape at the time.
12 minutes.
So that's where we stand with that. And by the way, if it wasn't people like Mr. Jeckovich and other World War II veterans, believe me, we wouldn't have all the freedoms we have today. And we might even be speaking German. We might even be speaking German. That generation, as they say, is the greatest generation of all time, and I firmly believe that. They had such great patriotism. Patriotism took them right to the top. You had kids 15 and 16 years old. They loved their country so much. They were lying about their age just to get a chance to get in there and fight and make their country proud and save their country. So they had great patriotism there. It's a very unique generation. And I don't really see it today, do you?
Who?
I don't see it today.
No.
I know
Different culture now.
I don't see it today. I'm looking at your draft papers, and when you got drafted, you weighed 187 pounds. How much you weigh now?
151.
You have a lot of catching up to do.
I never do it.
You have a lot of catching up to do. One good thing is that you could put on both your uniforms and then fit loosely.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of guys still alive.
If I could find a uniform.
But where do you think they are?
Who knows? Who knows where all that stuff is?
And here's Mr. Jeckovich after World War II. Here's the documents right here from the government. After World War II, he received, one second please, I want to get this right, a total for mustering out pay. That's the money you're given to leave.
Yeah.
That's what you get, the end of the story. He received a total of $300.
Yeah.
And they paid him in segments of $100 a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big hearted.
$300.
Yeah.
But didn't most of your pay that you made during the war you sent to your mother?
Yeah, most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
158 emails I sent her.
Yeah, and.
I don't know what happened to those.
V-mails are not to be confused with emails. They were sent by Western Union, and Mr. Jeckovich and other soldiers would write home. But what happened to those letters? How did were they all read over before your mother got them?
Say what?
What was done with those letters you wrote to the mother? Were they all read carefully? Were they scrutinized?
They were censored. A lot of black spots on them.
Yeah, they were all censored.
Yeah.
Minutes, please.
Nine.
So we're gonna try to put a couple more pages under our belt of your book, okay?
Okay.
But my laptop will not open unless I have the passcode, which is your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay, here we go. Now you're on furlough, you're leaving Niagara Falls, and you're going to see Ann in Owensboro. Here we go. I got off the bus and headed for the cab stand. I had taken a few steps when someone called my name. It was Ann. I turned out and I stretched my arms. I ran to her, threw my arms around her, kissed her passionately. It was great seeing her and holding her once again. And after I got my initial surprise, I asked her, what is she doing here so early? So she surprised you again.
Yeah.
I came early because I wanted to see you as soon as possible, she said, and besides, I want to help you get settled in. All the while she was smiling, her usual sweet, loving smile, and I was glad she was here. I did not feel lonely anymore. So your loneliness disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her I was delighted that she was here, and I missed her greatly. She looked inviting, and I noticed that she had done her hair differently, which made her all the more attractive and appealing. I whispered that she looked beautiful, and she smiled and took my hand as we walked to her car. Did she drive or did you?
She did. She did. It was her car.
Yeah, okay. Anne objected when I informed her of my plans to stay at Weatherby's. She insisted I stay at her place, stating they had plenty of room and I did not want to impose on her mother's hospitality just now. Perhaps later in the week we would discuss it once again. We would have to see how things went and take it from here. As we drove down US 90 towards Weatherby's, that's like the hotel, right?
Yeah.
I again mentioned to Anne how much I missed her and kissed her on the cheek. I was good to be by her side, talking and laughing with her. I did not realize how much I really missed her until I sat next to her, intently watching her as she spoke and moved her beautiful body while she maneuvered the car through the streets. I inquired the same room I had 2 previous occasions. Anne made herself right at home. She sank into the familiar large rocker and crossed her stocking legs. I reached out kissing her and that I had missed her very much. She pulled me down towards her and put my arms around my neck. I kissed her, bent over in an awkward position, and I held myself tense, trying to fall in her lap. But I did not want to let go. I felt she would enjoy and share with me every moment of her ecstasy, blissful joy. After a few moments, I whispered in her ear that I would shower, shave, and change my uniform after the long train ride. How many uniforms did you travel with?
2.
That was it, huh? She let me go off of me, and I just sat there for a while. Take your shower, she said. Do you want me to join? Uh-oh, no. Censored, family show. Let's see, let's move down a couple paragraphs. I need a minute count here. Okay, let's see, couple paragraphs down, how censored.
5.
After shaving, I put on a clean uniform and I left off my shirt and tucked my t-shirt into my trousers. As I walked into the small living room, Ann still in a rocker looking up at me, I sat down on the floor beside her, put my hand on her leg and commenced to move it up and down. Oh boy. She looked down at me and put her hand on top of my head and began raking my hair with her fingers. Did you have a lot of hair on your head back then?
That what?
Did you have a lot of hair on your head back
I
then?
had a short haircut.
But you had a lot more hair than you do now.
I don't have a lot of hair now.
No, you had a lot more hair then than you
Yeah,
do now,
yeah.
right? Okay. Just trying to make a point. Because I don't know if I need to read all the rest of these paragraphs. I'm grasping at straws here. What made you come back early? She quietly and softly asked as she continued running her fingers through my hair. I replied that she knew why I came back early, and I was the question to ask. She jerked in a fistful of my hair and repeated the same question. I began serious and stated that I should have never left. Do you feel the same way now? You should have never left for furlough with your mother's?
Yeah.
What happens if you would have took Ann on a furlough?
The one that works out.
Your mother wouldn't have liked her.
No.
I need a minute count because I'm going to wind this up. I felt terrible when I just did just that. I knew that I would spend
3.5.
spend more time at home, but frustrated at the last minute and did not want to leave here. Rather than make a positive move, I bungled it, trying to appease both sides of my ambiguous nature. I also told Ann that I carried too much excess baggage in my emotional arena. Hell, you're only 18, 19 years old. How could you have emotional baggage at that young?
Have a what?
You said you carried a lot of emotional baggage, but hell, you're only 18 or 19. Would someone have so much baggage?
Emotional bandage?
Yeah, it's
Baggage?
emotional baggage
Well,
from your prior life, from my past life, and I was afraid that would interfere with our relationship, which I cherish very much. I stated that I was unsure if it was really good for her and that I did not want to cause her any undue suffering. So what we're going to do here is, we only have a few minutes left?
2.5.
Okay, we have to give you the number to text Mr. Jeckovich. He'll answer and respond to all your text messages. His mind is like a library. Ask him any question you like. You can text us at 407-366-0000. Text Mr. Jeckovich, especially on Memorial Day, 407-366-0000. He's one of the last true World War II frontline infantry combat veterans left. There's only approximately 6,000 left, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So the time is now. Text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. So we're going to finish the rest of that chapter, but I still get those questions about how much is the book and where can I buy it.
and that's not for sale.
That's right. The book is not about money. The book has never been sold. The book will never be sold. There's an original copy of Mr. Jeckovich's book titled Their Mother's Sons. The original copy is in a World War II museum in New Orleans. The book is to give the younger generation the remembrance of the war, plus simpler lives that they might learn from Mr. Jeckovich's example to have for themselves. You could ask any question from marriage to finances. His mind is like a library.
What would you tell a young GI right now?
What would you tell a young GI right now?
A GI?
Yeah, if he asked you for your advice.
He didn't. Why did he enlist?
Okay. Yeah, but didn't they tell you, keep your mouth shut and your nose clean?
Keep your mouth shut and your eyes closed.
And your nose
Your eyes
clean.
closed, eyes open, your mouth shut.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
good advice.
yeah. So, Mr. Jeckovich, how long were you married for?
69 years.
There you go. So you have good advice to give a younger couple about marriage.
10 seconds.
You made it for how many years again?
Huh?
How many years?
69.
Wow, that's a life.
Well, you gotta have the right person, though.